Here we go, folks. Fion56 representing Russia versus Lifecoach from Germany in our first semifinal of the GWENT Challenger.
We have a Scoia'tael mirror, Bruverhoog versus Francesca. We see Shiru!
Oh,
see Shiru. Oh, boy.
It's getting better and better, folks.
Oh, my.
This will be the first double monster ban series. We won't see monsters here. Gels and Dagon both banned.
Oh, this is very interesting. A very clear ban for Fion, trying to get that consume monster out of the way so that potentially his Jan Calvade can prevail, because that is his worst matchup. So I like this. This is going to be very exciting. These two are going to go at it. Let's do this.
Yeah, I think Yorveth is also a very interesting choice.
It is.
And Moran.
Ooh, Moran could be so key in this matchup.
You can do a lot of stuff with Moran, especially if you are able to play operator on a huge ambush unit specifically. You basically give your opponent all of that strength only to take it away, because Moran can destroy an ambush card.
But in this matchup, you can actually preserve it to counter what his opponent is generating. Instead of utilizing it in the most conventional way, as we see Fion having a very ambush-heavy lineup with not one, not two, but 3 ambushes in opening hand. Like, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Also, Fion holding on to all 3 Elven Mercenaries. It's going to make his deck very thin going later into the game. And Shiro also is a very interesting choice. I think there are lots of great choices here from both players.
Indeed. This is a very strong hand, actually. The Overhead Dragoon, Overhead Dangler. Like, he's got all the specials in his deck, and that's what the Elven Mercenaries are for. The good thing about Francesca as well is that it can be utilized very efficiently with Kieran. In case you guys don't know, that ambush right there sitting on the right side of his hand that has 1 strength, and it has like his arms crossed, and apparently took a little bit of a beating. That's Kieran. Kieran is an ambush that works a little bit like Ciri. It basically returns to your hand if you lose the round. And then Francesca can mulligan it away later down the line, which is, I think, why he's opting to run this leader.
And the Lifecoach was able to open up with that Milva bounce roach that is so key in this matchup, and the mirror matchup specifically with Scoia'tael. For all the reasons we talked about before, very hard to gain the move advantage that Scoia'tael is known for against the mirror, because your faction passive is nullified. You can't control who goes first or second like you normally can do in any other matchup.
That Milva Roach combo proving to be as nasty as it's always been, as Fion is going to actually follow that up with a Overhead Dragoon investing into the Teruvio. But then again, ambushes are not as effective when your opponent has the 1 card that destroys them. Like, Morven, not only does she destroy an ambush, she gains 4 strength after doing so.
Yeah, I mean, the value you can get out of Moran in the mirror is it's much more reliable. You can take your time a little bit, but as we can see, the buff applied to Teruvio here, buff applied to the ambush units, playing right into what Moran can ultimately do. It's just, can Moran get the right ambush?
Let's see.
You won't really know if you're getting the one that's being buffed right away, as Teruvio and Kieran are both in hand here for Fion.
The thing is, if Lifecoach is paying attention, he can actually look at what he's buffing and keep track of that and preserve Moran for it. It's going to be very key to see if he can do that. Lifecoach really taking his time here. Clock is ticking, 5 seconds left. He plays Ciri early on. Very interesting.
I like that play. I like early aggressive Ciri, just kind of always just kind of putting that. It changes the decision making so much when Ciri's on the board. When you when you're trying to push the round, you know that your opponent basically has. It's kind of like an out for your opponent.
This is very interesting, actually, because I think the only thing that he can utilize here is Elven Mercenary, but he could potentially pick up something like a Scorch, a removal tool that has no target for Lifecoach's side of the board, so it could work against them. It could be overly devastating. But he opts to drop the Teruvio. Oh, well, we see more in here.
Wow, we already see the Teruvio. Just one buff applied to Teruvio, and there it is.
I guess that was the one play you could make to ensure that he would not fall back in card advantage, because that aggressive Ciri play by Lifecoach is no coincidence. He wants to capitalize on the fact that he has nothing on the board that can be controlled per se, and also is providing himself, like, he's punishing Fion for the very weak tempo play that is Overhead Dragoon, and I like that. I like that. I like when Overhead Dragoons get punished.
Yeah, a lot of charged opinions about that card for sure. It just allows for such late game potential while really not giving up all that much.
One of the best bronze cards in the Scoia'tael lineup, without a doubt.
You see it in a lot of decks. I believe it making an appearance in all of the competitors' Scoia'tael decks. It's really hard to turn yourself away from Overhead Dragoon. If you've ever played on the ladder, It's, you know, it can be the result. A lot of things can beat you with Scoia'tael, but that is...
Lifecoach with the early aeromancy.
What
really
a
trying to
call.
establish.
What a call, because that is, you know, it's not a sure thing.
Oh,
Never
there he
a sure
goes.
thing what the ambush card is.
Elva Mercenary to clear skies, denying the aeromancy. Now he doesn't have to worry about Brewer Hook either. Now it's important to note that I believe that was the only silver left.
He's
So-
holding the other ones, yeah. He's holding
every-
all 5 silvers.
That gives Fion very valuable information, actually.
And I think that, you know, that clear of the weather there tells the tale that that is probably not Kieran. And, you know, I think you said if Lifecoach was paying attention, I guarantee you he was paying attention to where that buff was going.
Indeed. Still preserving that Moran, which is something that's going to be very valuable in this matchup. Lifecoach really debating what to do here. He only has a 5 strength lead, and he's pretty aware of the fact that that ambush could very well be a Torvio. So I don't think we can expect a pass from him here. The question is, what does he drop? Lifecoach really milks the clock, and I like that. You know, he wants to take advantage of as many seconds as he can to debate what the best play is. After all, Gwent is just a game filled with mind games.
And there it is. Oh, he's going to do it.
He's going
Mother
for
will
it.
be proud.
He's going for it.
What a call. 2
Huge
calls.
swing.
Not only aeromancy, he knew exactly how important that was to eliminate that as a threat. You know, cards like Teruvial and, you know, earlier on, the cards like Kieran, these are huge cards in this matchup, in this mirror, and Yavin will also prove to be that huge card as well.
Very, very nice Morin there by Lifecoach, giving him a total of a 16 strength lead over Fion. Fion he's facing a Siri, which means he has to cover all that strength difference in one play, and the only way he can potentially do it, I think, is with a not even an Elver Mercenary and Scorch would do it. He's gonna play his own Siren.
Yeah, it's kind of the same card in this case. A quick pass, probably the quickest turn we've seen Lifecoach take.
Yep.
He knew exactly what to expect there. I mean, we talk about Lifecoach taking that time, but you know, he's proven himself in a lot of arenas. Taking that time has always worked to Lifecoach's advantage.
Exceptional
Slow,
play.
deliberate plays.
He's making so very little mistakes. He's so methodical, so analytical. He knows how to capitalize on it. Oh, he does draw Roach.
Drawing the roach, not great.
Well, that's Fion, actually. Both players have Roach now.
Both players have Roach in hand. Both players have that turn kind of represented by Roach.
But the difference is Fion has Francesca.
Yes, that's a huge thing as well.
The problem is Francesca provides you with no strength, so he can only afford to do that play really when he's up ahead.
Yeah, Francesca allowing you to mulligan, basically give yourself a second round of mulligan, throwing away any cards you don't want. You know, Roach and Kieran both are huge cards, as you generally don't want them in your hand after they come back to your hand or end up in your hand in this case, with Fion drawing that Roach.
Again, the clock is ticking. Lifecoach just loves, you know, taking his time.
You gotta think about this. This is a tough, Scoia'tael Mirror is tough.
It's tough. There's a lot of thinking to be done here. A lot of mind games. You got to think not only about the present, but the future as well in this game.
I think we're going to see Francesca in this round as well, as you know, Fion has to win both rounds, so Kieran is likely just not going to see play.
The problem is if he goes for Francesca now, he's giving up. Like, he can't afford. Like now, this is a perfect turn to play Dragoon actually, because you can afford to stay ahead, while at the same time, you know, making a play that's going to attribute to more strength in the third round. That's where the mind games in this match all are. This second round is all about investing the right cards so that the third round can be won.
You just got to be ahead by a point.
Lifecoach has the upper hand though, because he is in control. He can afford to lose a round, what Fion cannot. And that is a very, very big deal here.
And it's not only that, he's holding on to Yavin, which represents another card for Lifecoach in this matchup. Very important as we have parity at this point. Lifecoach definitely in the driver's seat here. I love that he put Yorbeth in the deck, though.
Yeah. Really debating what to do here. It's going to be difficult for Fion to be able to apply Francesca. I think he's going to have to wait for the third round to do so. There it goes, Overhead Dragoon buffing up the Teruvio in the hand of Lifecoach.
Pretty strong tactic. Teruvial is a card that can get you. When you pass on a Teruvial, it flips over, not only revealing her strength, but also buffing the 2 units on either side. And you're never quite sure. Well, I mean, you are sometimes sure, but you know, until it flips over, it could be something else. And positioning of these ambush cards oftentimes is just as important as the buffing of them.
The storm is coming.
Elven Mercenary
Let's
into a
enjoy the
rally.
weather while we still can.
Gonna pick up a blue mounted commando, sorry. Gonna bounce Overhead Dragoon and gonna buff up Brain yet again. In case you guys don't know, that's what the blue mounted commando does. It basically returns a bronze unit to your hand and then summons it again to reutilize the effect.
And I think that, because we always talk about, new cards that are being seen for the first time in this tournament. There's been such a wide variety of cards being played, and it is the first time we see Blue Mountain Commando, but Blue Mountain Commando is great with Francesca because you can afford to run a card that might not be great all the time because you get that second mulligan.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself. We see the operator being developed there. Blind, greedy fool. Let's see what he...
And there are options here.
Let's see what we're waiting for.
It's gonna be
The
an
Elven Mercenary. Interesting. Does he have that many
The
specials
storm is
left?
coming. Let's enjoy the weather.
Oh, the Scorch. Good target there. This does put Fion in a nice lead. May give him a little bit of breathing room to develop that Francesca, actually.
Probably hoping to draw into that Aglace, or at least redraw into Aglace now that the Scorch is available. Fair amount of special cards in this particular deck for Lifecoach. He runs the 3 First Lights and a lot of removal options as well.
Triple Manticore Venom. Interesting.
And
Definitely a very powerful card here, actually.
I think deck thinning is definitely part of the strategy here, since he has full control over this match, and he wants to get, probably wants to improve the quality of his draw as much as possible. The Elven Mercenary will pull 4 cards out of the deck, as well as providing all the benefit, of course, of the removal here. It looks like, may not get max value out of any of the Manticore Venoms specifically, but you might just take it in the round that you don't have to win.
There he goes.
There's
With
that
Yavin.
draw.
Draws a card. But that takes out Aileron from Fion's deck. Aileron is a very unique card in Gwent. It actually enters the board from the deck once there are 6 elves on said board. But now you can afford to go for Francesca, and those are 2 outstanding replaces, if you ask me.
You'll take a Vrea Dragoon any day, but Aglace is an excellent draw for sure. Only opting to take 2 of those redraws. Very satisfied, probably looking predominantly for that Aglace and getting it very quickly, but he'll take that Dragoon for sure.
Well, he is down in card advantage. Fion has a very powerful looking hand as Lifecoach opts to pass here, and he's going to go through the 3rd round, ladies and gentlemen. This is it.
He's going to take that extra card there.
This is it. Let's see. He's got Shiru. Like, now he doesn't have to worry about tempo loss, basically, but he draws it.
Oh, he draws
no!
the Kieran. He didn't want it. Came back anyway.
Man.
Always a risk. Always a risk. So many other great cards to get into his hand. Kieran just
But that could
blocking.
definitely play mind games because Lifecoach does not expect for his opponent to have it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to definitely put your opponent on drawing into the Kieran after pitching it if you put him on pitching it in the first place.
How many specials does Lifecoach have left? There's 4 of them Mercenaries in hand. Has he played any rallies here?
Oh, for sure he has enough to cover. Like, none of those Elven Mercenaries are going to be dead, I believe. He did draw into a second Manticore Venom, but
We'll see.
I guess we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see. I
very
may have missed a rally at some point. I think that all of those Elven Mercs have a home.
If that's the case, that's a very strong swing for Lifecoach there.
I thought he was going to play them in round 2. I thought he was going to play them to make his deck as thin as possible, but he's happy to have that removal.
Leads off with the Red Dragoon. Buffs up the Teruvio even more. Definitely trying to capitalize on the fact that he will have the last say in this match, and I'm pretty sure he's not expecting more in from his opponent.
It's too bad he didn't end up drawing into the Aglace. I'm sure he probably would have preferred to draw that rather than another Manticore Venom,
Yeah.
as his opponent is
Both
holding
players
onto that
stopped
card.
a little bit poorly there, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Francesca was great, but the top deck, not so much.
There he goes for the Shiru. The second ambush goes there. Will Lifecoach expect this?
Keeping it all secret.
Will he expect this?
I mean, how much value can really Shiro get here? Look at the Lifecoach's hand. Low points. Low points and a card that would never be targeted.
Lifecoach through his graveyard there. Counting the specials, I kind of missed that. That was a good opportunity to check on how many specials he had played. This is intense.
This is intense. Yeah, this is an intense mirror.
That Sasuke is looking like such a powerful swing for Fion, though.
Yeah, there will be units on the board, a lot of units on the board that will be targeted, even though we have very few targetable units at this point, and it's looking to stay that way. Lots of face-down cards.
Card advantage is not everything in Gwent. It's all about setting up that strength. So even though he's one card down, maybe that's not enough for Lifecoach here, as this Sasuke is threatening a lot of damage, especially considering he has so many bronze units to be played. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out, actually.
For sure.
I think we're going to see Overhead Dragoon here.
As a former poker pro, you'd be happy to see 4 of a kind normally. But I think that these are probably, you could have a much stronger hand for sure.
Keeps buffing that brain, though.
Holding onto those Elven Mercenaries.
We're a few turns into the third round, and both players only have 5 strength on the board. This is how Scoia'tael works, ladies and gentlemen. They take their time. They don't rush. They're not the most proactive, but they're good at surprising you, and they're good at shutting what you want to do down.
And at this point, there's very limited opportunities here.
So Lifecoach knows where that Terulio is going now, basically.
And that Manticore Venom definitely had more potential in the last round. There's nothing to hit here.
He has to
might just take Yorveth.
15 seconds left for Lifecoach. There goes down the first Elven Mercenary, picks up a rally. Oh, denied, and down goes Overhead Dragoon. Also denied potential value from Turuvio here.
Sure, not a very popular choice, but you know, in this instance, denied whatever the rally value would have provided, plus swinging the game around as well. 5 for 5. That Dragoon getting scorched.
Everything all right?
Ooh.
Shackles nowhere to go.
Yeah, in case anybody's wondering about what just happened with Shiro. Shiro is a gold ambush that triggers when your opponent, no, actually when either of both players plays a special card. Shiro responds to that by flipping over, developing 5 strength for your side, and also countering said special, denying its effect, and destroying the strongest non-gold unit on your opponent's side, which can be multiple of them if they share the same amount of strength. As it is Lifecoach's turn, he seems like he's going to develop Yorveth here. Interesting.
Absolutely, yeah. Shiro is unlike other Scorch effects in the game. Shiro is opponent only.
Yes.
So when you can get it to hit something, it's usually in your favor. You don't have to play around Scorch or Villain Trettenberth like you would normally.
Exactly. That was a nice swing in the favor of Fion, but Lifecoach still has that Teruvio. And down goes Yorveth, knocking out the Overhead Dragoon.
Yeah, true. I think all of these remaining cards, I mean, specifically Brian, Agnes, and Saskia, all going to be very important cards. That's why I think the Vanguard is probably going to be coming down next.
I wonder if Lifecoach expects that to be cured, because he's already played Teruvio, so what other could that be? It's clearly not a Fireball Trap, it's not Overhead Sappers.
I think I think at this point you just have to.
I think he assumes it's curing at this point.
You gotta make that safe assumption. I mean, every other ambush card I believe would have triggered at this point, so it can only be Kieran.
Now this is tough for Fion, because even though we do see the hand of Lifecoach and see no Scorch, has he played Scorch in the prior round?
Did Lifecoach? Oh yeah, Scorch has been played. There it is. You just saw it in Graveyard Tour.
Oh, that was Fion's Graveyard.
Oh, you're talking about
Lifecoach. Yes, double Elven Mercenary.
Actually, not running Scorch.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah, it's Aromancy who's actually the interesting silver tech there, which we did see.
This continues to surprise me, really.
Lie still.
Unconventional decks.
Recovered. He's gonna go for the rally actually and drop Overhead Vanguard. That's gonna be very good for the Saskia. That's 2 extra strength for Saskia. That's what he has to do at this point. He has to build up that Saskia. He has to go for that.
Limited options here. That Kieran is troublesome because it actually limits how many targets Manticore Venom can hit. Manticore Venom can't target that ambush unit and hit the 2 units on the other side, unlike with a gold card where you can target it. Doesn't get affected, but it does hit the things on the other side. There's really only so much value Lifecoach can expect to get out of these Manticore Venoms. And we know that the remaining specials in the deck are only First Light, Rally.
Which is going to empower Saskia as well. This match is going to... I honestly can't tell who can win right now.
I stand corrected on that ambush play.
Oh, you could target the ambush. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's the same. Like, you could only target 2 units. Like, it was in the way still.
Definitely, you know, taking the value where you can get it, and it's looking like
He's going for Sasuke now.
There
Here it
it
is. The nuke, ladies and gentlemen. The nuke is here. 16 strength lead for Fion, but he has 1 card left in his deck. As the Elven Mercenaries drop by Lifecoach, picking him up, a Hawker Smuggler. I think that's the target we're going to see for Brain.
Boy, I think you would have wanted to maybe play the Mercenaries earlier to try to find that card. That card is great in a long round and not great at the end of a round.
I think Lifecoach is going to go down here. Like, even though he has the last say, he does not run Scorch. He's already played Aeromancy, and that's a 20 strength worth Brain here. He cannot keep up with this. He's already 9 points behind, and both cards in his hands just do not pull it off. Oh, there we go.
Tough to overcome this one.
Francesca may overcome the most preferred leader option for Scoia'tael here.
I think we've been saying it all day long, but we've been loving Fion's unconventional leader list, and actually being the only player to bring Francesca in as a leader.
Oh my lord, I could not stress that enough. Gales, Francesca, John Calvé. This man's a legend.
Well, all the sappers did find homes, but all the mercenaries, I should say, all found cards to draw out of the deck, but it won't be quite enough.
It may actually. I forgot about this.
Oh yeah, hold on a second.
Forgot about this. We
Hold on
forgot
a
about
second.
Turniej. What are we doing?
Slow down for a second.
Oh, wait, is that over his Sapper?
That's
oh,
Sapper. It's over. He got it.
Oh.
At the last minute, but what's this here? Not enough. We knew it was Kieran. We knew it was Kieran, and that draw of Kieran.
Sorry about that, viewers. Wow.
That draw of Kieran, he tried to get rid of it, but Kieran is like, no, I want to hang around. I want to stick in your hand. That actually ended up, that could have been anything else.
Outstanding. What a game. So close. Props to both players. That was an excellent way to start off the set. And we do have to apologize. We didn't, Turniej was played off so early. I honestly forgot about it.
Sometimes, especially in the mirror. Especially in the mirror, keeping track of some of these ambush cards.
Oh, Lord. Because there was no way to, check it, so you got to work with memory. Oh, well, I stayed corrected. Not bad, Lifecoach. Taking the first win and taking that Brewer Hook as win as well. He has Hansolt and Croc and Crate left, correct?
Absolutely, and to the people who are watching, we don't have the opportunity to mouse over things ourselves just to double check. So when we talk about the graveyard and we talk about those unflipped cards, we're watching it right with you, and I think that was exactly what we wanted to see.
That is excitement to it.
It's really too bad about that Kieran that was redrawn into.
Wow. Wow, what a surprise victory. I mean, some people would have considered it a surprise, but for me, that shocked me.
I guarantee you a lot of people that are watching were
outstanding performance by Lifecoach.
Just waiting for it to turn over.
Here we go, Hansolt versus Francesca yet again. I mean, I have talked with Fion, and he has stated that he has the most confident in his Scoia'tael list out of all his lineups. So he truly believes in this deck. And we see 4 golds in his opening hand: Shu, Egle, Saskia, and what was his last gold actually? Shu, Egle, Saskia,
and Milva.
And Milva. Yeah, there you go. That's a strong start.
Dandelion, good to have in the opening hand. Absolutely.
Debating really what to replace here. He's an Elven Mercenary. That's what he was fishing for most likely. Very nice. He's got a lot of power here.
It's been a long day at Gwent at this point. I don't think any of these matchups have disappointed us at all. Everything has been exciting.
Honestly exceeded my expectations by a lot.
and we get to see Vess again, and we get to see Francesca again.
Oh,
we will see John Calvet again.
John Calvet, yes.
On the big stage here.
Yes. All right, let's go. Let's do this. All right, it is Lifecoach time to start things off with. He has Vess and Dandelion in his opening hand. Not bad. Double poor infantry too, which was very useful in the last match.
Didn't pick up any siege towers, I think, at this point. I think you probably want to lead off here with Dandelion, but maybe only to... I mean, both Dandelion and Vess actually represent a lot of strength. Yennefer and Ciri in hand, we know that Vess will be activated for all 3 of those commandos, as those are... I mean, the promote would also help doing... You don't necessarily have to spend those big-ticket gold cards as Dandelion comes down to start things off and make things difficult right away.
The man with the guitar, or I'm pretty sure it's not a guitar.
I believe it is a lute.
It's a lute. Yeah, he leads off with that. And Dandelion is one of those cards that really threatens a long match. Basically, the earlier you get him out, the more potential value he can translate. With only a couple of cards, he's just basically like a 9 strength silver. But at the beginning of the match, this entire match, he can translate into like 20-something value, which is very powerful, even potentially even more.
It is important to note, though, that whatever unit ends up getting maybe the biggest, Milva is in hand here. We didn't get a chance to see those shenanigans where Milva bounces Roach back up for that extra card back in hand.
Yes.
But we may see Milva deny a largely buffed unit perhaps later on.
Yes.
It could be a Blue Stripes Commando, or it could be
Very good point.
a huge siege tower.
Very good point right there. But then again, like with Blue Stripes Commando, that would be a little bit counterproductive if you think about it. Because he could just summon it again and they would buff up the other Blue Stripes once more. So it's going to be awkward to use Milva in this game, I feel.
You may just want to take the best chance you can get here to deny a huge buffed unit.
Here's the thing. Lifecoach knows that he runs Shiru now. He's revealed Shiru. That's such a big deal. Shiru loses a lot of power when you don't have the surprise factor. This is what I was talking about earlier with Fion. The surprise factor is one of his greatest assets. And if you know Shiru's coming, you know your opponent runs him, that changes your play so much.
And because Francesco was banned in the first round, we never got to see this deck ahead of time.
Exactly.
So there was really no knowledge there at all.
Lifecoach with a 4 strength lead. Debating what to do here. Really trying to save up Vest for the proper scenarios. He's going to go with the very nice Pulse Priscilla, actually. And there's the Siege Tower.
There's the Siege Tower. That's going to definitely help him out in this round.
Yep.
Dandelion continue to do work here. Already 4 units buffed.
Because of Dandelion, it's also not vulnerable to the Manticore Venom, which is very important.
It's tough for Squirtle because Squirtle likes taking time to set up, but Dandelion definitely works against that.
Yes, it does. It's actually like Northern Realms as a rather strong matchup against Squirtle, I feel, because they're so proactive, but they don't invest fully into one unit. And when they do, they just promote it. So that really shuts them down quite well.
Once again, we see Ailoren coming out of the deck. Francesca, like we said about the Blue Mountain Commando, and Kieran can afford to run a lot of these cards that may be undesirable to be in hand as you get that second mulligan option. But you know, it's always great to have that come out of the deck. Thin your deck even more.
Lifecoach looks like he's gonna play Vest. There he goes.
Probably thinking if there's no answer for Dandelion, Vest is going to pose a huge threat in this round.
Vest could be a tremendous swing. I wonder what Fion is thinking after seeing this card. Definitely was not expecting it, pretty sure. But hey, he also runs unconventional list, so I think it's not going to shock him too much. Let's see how he can adapt, because Vest definitely provided, it definitely was one of the reasons Lifecoach was able to defeat Oikamena early on. With that huge swing in combination with the Yennefer. And here he has an even better combo with the Promote in hand.
Gwent is largely about countering strategy, but when you bring unconventional stuff,
exactly.
You know, we talked about that already. The landscape is just so different.
That's what I love about it, really. And we don't even have that large of a card pool yet because we're in closed beta. Imagine when we get more cards.
Oh yeah, the future is so bright.
It's gonna get crazy, dude.
More deck types
Oh my
just
God.
would make every tournament from here on, and this tournament has already been so varied.
With the card pool we have, it's mind-blowing, really.
There's been barely any what you might call cookie cutter meta choices.
And those who have been like that, they've gone down because of the lack of surprise. Fion being the only qualified player to be able to advance to the semifinals, and on top of that, the one who's running the most non-conventional list, so that speaks something.
Experience is proving to prevail so far. We've seen it with Fion.
Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is a huge swing. I think Lifecoach easily passes after this. Look at this power. This is ridiculous. 96 strength.
Yeah, this is I think this is,
absurd.
we know round one's important, and we know passing in round one can be threatening, but when you have a lead like this.
Sasuke is like a little lizard for this board. Like, she can get a huge power swing, but I don't think she's nearly enough. This is just too much power being generated here. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to, I'm interested to know, because obviously this can't be surpassed in one card. It's interesting to see how offense is going to see himself out. Yeah.
Vast has been performing so well today.
Humans are not.
Run fast, people! Like, oh my God.
Kieran going back in the hand at least, now having a 2-card advantage when card advantage is so important, as we've seen all throughout the day. Amazing draws.
Yeah,
Lifecoach pulling Shawnee and Baron off the top.
Bad draw there for Fion, but he does have Francesca at his disposal. But again, even though he is at +2 card advantage here due to Kieran, he needs to like make sure that he keeps up with Lifecoach basically.
Yeah, for sure. Francesca definitely is going to get used once again in round 2 to clean things up here.
Or maybe round 3, depends
Definitely
how far
a
he
hand
pushes.
to
But
improve.
Siri is great for Lifecoach here.
Oh, yeah.
Can he match this power considering he's going to get Roach out of there and the northern remote passes, you know, buffs up that to 11? I'm not sure. Like,
gonna be
I see
tough to
nothing in
get.
his hand right now.
Definitely going to be tough to get ahead.
Like, what can he do here? He's going to shackle Siri. But still, this makes it so that, yes, you denied that, but you have 11 strength on the board. That definitely does work well for him, though. Well, Lifecoach is
Too
going to
bad.
push.
Definitely too bad to not get Siri back when you're down by 2 cards against Scoia'tael, but being ahead, it's possible that Lifecoach might actually take a more aggressive route.
We'll see.
Checking that graveyard,
Hansel,
trying to find out what the next big swing play could be, and if it might be enough to actually be very aggressive in this round.
Hansel is a leader that thrives over a prolonged round as he can build up towards that gold strength and capitalize on the siege towers and just gain a bunch of advantage. But he does require setup. So he is going to pass here, capitalize on the 11 strength that he's generated. Let's see, now that Siri is a silver unit, A-Glaze can actually provide Fion with the swing that he needs.
This is a really tough call here for Fion. Obviously, I mean, Francesca later on is probably better. You don't want to run into another situation where you draw Kieran, so holding on to Francesca here is pretty strong. But Milva would do it. Milva would do it, but it would give Siri back. Not that it would matter so much in the 3rd round.
Let's see what he opts.
I think Milva is.
Yeah, because Milva would just at the same
Milva's
time.
the only way to do it in 1 card.
No, A-Glaze can do it too.
Aglace can do it.
Yeah,
Aglace can do it.
A-Glaze can pick up, so A-Glaze can definitely do it. Because hasn't he played, what specials has he played, actually?
Next time we get a chance to look at that graveyard, we'll get to see. But he's opting to go 2 cards in.
Well, this is actually not a bad play at all, because one of those cards that he played was an investment for the later round. But he does have a relatively weak hand. Like, he has triple gold, but Kieran and Roach in hand, I didn't feel too great about that.
I suppose he's intending to keep Kieran in his hand if he's going to buff it.
Yep.
That's an interesting play.
He's definitely going to go for his leader's ability here, though, to improve the quality of his hand this round. Now he doesn't have to worry about tempo so much because, you know, it doesn't matter. This is a round to just... The 3rd round is all about setting up that strength. You don't need to worry as much about keeping up with your opponent because there's no passing here. If you pass, you lose.
What do you think? You'd open up a Baron, perhaps? Looks like that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Demands your attention for sure. That Lubberkin is quite a hill to climb if it gets going.
I think Elven Mercenary is going to happen here.
Yeah.
There's a very high chance of pulling a Manticore Venom to shut that down, and I think you got to take down the Lubricant as fast as you can.
We talked about that initiative that Baron provides you, forcing your opponent to react while you continue to build your board. Just as important in round 3 as it is in round 1.
Fion really debating here. Lifecoach is super concentrated remote, as always.
The body language from both players, just full focus.
Full focus.
Right
I mean, that's why they're here. That's why they're here.
They're able to get the job done.
He's gonna go with A-Glaze. He doesn't want to leave it up to chance. He wants to get that out of there.
Got it.
That's a mistake that his prior opponent made. He let the I'm talking about, I believe it was Lifecoach with the Lubricant. I believe it was Okumena, like he let the Lubricant stick around for a little bit too long, preserving the removal, and that worked against him. Fion is having none of that and shutting that thing down because the earlier you get rid of the Lubricant, the better. The more value you're taking away from your opponent, and I like that approach. He ain't messing around.
I mean, yeah, you can see so much snowball potential, you know, things getting out of hand with stuff like Siege Towers, Dandelion as well. But the Lubberkin is one of the toughest cards to combat if you don't have an answer for it. 3 strength every turn. In round 1 and 2, generally, when you see that kind of thing, you're always fighting uphill.
This
And
may
in
be
round
the
3, dangerous stuff.
This may be the turn to Francesca. It depends on what specials he has left in his deck. He may opt to actually play the Elven Mercenary first to thin that deck before he actually mulligans the cards that he wants to mulligan away. But it seems like he's fishing. He's moving towards that Francesca, little by little, little by little. There it is.
Squesme
Avelia. There's a Scorch.
Scorch in hand may prove to be useful.
Ooh,
Trivial
nice.
maybe not so much, but
What? Turreal's not bad.
it's just interesting that he chose to put the buff on Kieran. It seems like he'd be less likely to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Or more likely to hold on
I
to
still
it.
think you replace it because it's just 5 strength. But at the same time, it is an ambush, so it can't be interacted with. But it's not like Hansel's going to target your stuff much anyways.
He's going to put it away.
And he gets a
anyway.
brain. Yeah, that's
And he
bad.
gets a brain. And
That's
you could have made a case for putting the Scorch back if you wanted to take the chance, roll those dice to see if the Elven Mercenary plays it, but I think there's still a little bit too much unplayed to secure that. 9 cards still on the deck. Generally, Squirtle is able to thin a little bit more than that.
If Lifecoach plays the Siege Tower now, he will give Fion a very
we're
powerful
broke as shit
Scorch.
peddlers.
If he resurrects the Siege Tower, this is clearly a Scorch. Nope.
You can try to win them all. But you
Still
won't.
good for Henselt having a bunch of units to buff.
Yeah, that's
you know.
outstanding.
If you can get up to 7, which Henselt's limit is, limit in quotation, I think 7 is very generous, especially with the Siege Tower getting buffed by 2 for each.
We see a 34 strength lead there for Lifecoach. But Fion has a lot of stuff in his hand. A lot of resources for power. He just has to time them properly.
Lifecoach will have to take care and protect that Siege Tower as Scorch will threaten it if it's not gold as it starts to grow.
Milva has no target now. Like if he plays Milva and returns a poor infantry to his hand, he's just helping him.
Oh yeah.
There's the Saskia. There's
either,
the new.
Either the medic or the poor infantry.
I like how he plays Saskia now. Try to basically do so before they start getting promoted. Very smart play by Fion there.
As all those cards would be turned gold, and Saskia would be very, very limited in the value that would be able to be provided. Just talking about it just the same way we were talking about the Siege Tower. Henselt's able to protect so much.
This is tight, ladies and gentlemen. 13 strength difference here.
The Siege Tower is actually the Scorch target right now at 4. Roach will go, but I think that you might make the case to just...
There it goes. I think
Might
this
Scorch
was a
this.
Scorch. I think this is as good as a Scorch as you're gonna get.
It's just so important to take care of that, although Shawnee is threatening enough.
It is, without a doubt. But you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta remove that tower immediately.
You got to think to yourself, do I win if that thing stays there?
He promotes and it's over.
Shawnee is a common last card for Northern Realms, but just have to ask. He's checking the graveyard right now just to see if there's a Siege Tower already in there and if it actually is going to make a difference. But 2 Siege Towers is very, very difficult to muster the strength against.
Fion really debating what to do here. As he asked to play Brain instead.
Why would you Scorch it when you can play?
No,
Brain?
but the thing is now the Scorch has no value.
That is true, yeah.
Like,
that is
that's
true.
a bit of
At
an
the
issue
moment.
for him.
At the moment.
At the moment,
and
but-
we can see that Henselt is not going to allow that to be.
Oh, that's going to be a dead card for him because he did not up to Scorch. Oh, man. Lifecoach is looking very nice now.
No, I'm a medic. I tend to
Yeah, I'm a medic.
prescribe something.
Don't want his stakes.
I'm just a medic.
Well, she tends to know what she's doing when she prescribes it.
What do you want of me?
Very familiar with Shawnee, one of the strongest.
And he keeps pulling the
Northern
poor
Realms cards.
infantry here. Just by, like, this is hilarious. The Northern Realms player just does not go above 4. Scorch is detrimental to Fion right now.
Even so, though, there's really no option for that to happen here. I mean, without the Siege Tower on board, there's just nothing really to get here.
Exactly. Like, it's... But that's what I'm talking about. Like, the fact that he keeps pulling these poor infantries from the graveyard is so good for him.
It's really good. Fortunate in
Oh, Fion passing. He gives up.
there's nothing you can do. What do you do? What do you do here with this kind of,
Yeah.
you know, the Scorch is really too bad. Getting
Wow.
stuck.
Dominant performance.
I think it's actually very uncommon for Francesca to get stuck with cards you don't want, but
Outstanding.
sometimes it happens. Lifecoach taking
2-0 for Lifecoach.
2-0 lead in the series.
1 game away, and oh, he's hovering over. Ooh.
Vess Henselt.
Vess
Everybody.
Vess is the MVP.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's awesome.
Our last community member facing elimination at this point as we go into our 3rd
And potential
match
final
point
game.
for Lifecoach right now. Francesca's searching for a win, and we'll have to find one.
Now,
Maybe we won't see John Calvert again, but we might.
let's see what happens here. Lifecoach really, I mean, Lifecoach only has to play with one deck. I don't know why he's thinking so much. I guess he's taking a little bit of a breathe here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we know he has Karakan Crate. Who will Fion bring? Who will he count?
It's your lucky day, Mogwai.
Oh, down to Calvate.
At least one more time.
Here we go, boys. Skellige versus Nilfgaard. And there is a highly curious case. The Vicar of our Medics standing in the opening hand. As we had double Imperial Brigade, Joaquim, Emissaries. He's got to do some replacements here. That Demolition Bomb is actually very solid in this matchup. Definitely a keeper.
And once again, if you are just tuning in, Fion56 was the only player to bring Nilfgaard to this tournament.
Picks up Stefan Skellen. Very, very nice. He got one more replace. Definitely going to go for something here. He has to try to fish for another gold, another silver, something valuable.
Dimeridium Bomb, there's a card we haven't seen.
Like I said, that's very good for this matchup.
Yeah. Arguably you could say, in a lot of situations, hard counter. Fion not getting very lucky with draws in his matches right now. Sometimes things just don't go your way.
Oh, man, that hurts.
It's that, you know, 2 mulligans, and you're looking in your hand, and you're risking it with that 3rd mulligan if you don't see Roach in the opening hand to get rid of it. Sometimes Roach, a lot of people being cruel to Roach, and this time Roach being cruel to Fion.
Like I said, it's not Roach's day.
Roach is getting her revenge.
Roach did not shine in the Challenger. Lifecoach really debating what to start off here. Lifecoach really likes to think his plays very slowly, and I think that is very key. A lot of people take pride in making quick plays and quick decisions, but I think in a game like Gwent, there's no proper reasoning for that to be valid. Like, you have to take your time, see all the possibilities, and just, you know, make the most use out of the timer. As, you know, it's just the best way to go, honestly.
That's what confidence gets you, though. You can just take your time. Just take your time.
Take your time.
I mean,
don't worry about people calling you the Rope King. Like, what does that matter? If you win games, who cares? Who cares?
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
The first Imperial Brigade being dropped down by Lifecoach as the second one enters the board. This one, does he have an answer for this one? He could potentially lock it with Demeridium Shackles.
Absolutely can. Having that many Priestess of Freya in hand for the first round isn't...
It's a bit awkward,
It's not yet. It can get a little awkward as you're not always sure you can resurrect anything. You actually kind of hope your opponent can remove something in that case so you can activate those cards.
And there is the Demeridium Shackles onto the Imperial Brigade. Lifecoach trying to shut down one of the strongest resources for John Calvate, actually, besides his own leader's ability to take the first round, as he drops an Emissary and picks up an Alba Spearman from his deck.
And we were talking about those unconventional deck choices. I love that we can hear that voice line here. Mashed potatoes with thick gravy.
Hey, Joey's eating, man. I don't know.
Out of context, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter.
I'd like to know why they decided, yeah, this is the line for this guy.
Oh, well, how could you not put that in the game? How could you not put that line in?
True. That's the proper perspective. Lifecoach really debating here.
It's kind of an awkward one.
Ah, good. He gets to pop the shield as well. Yeah, this is a proper archer for him. Provides him a solid swing. Not sure why he's debating. Like, you get rid of the shield. That's good.
Well, he's looking at the spy, though. We know that John Calvin can bring those spies back and do things with
Actually, that's better.
It's really maximizing the value out of the archer to do that.
That's better, of course. And now you have to break the shield instead.
Ultimately not going for it. Well, you know why? But I think I know why, though. Gremist can take that.
Ah, very true. Very true. Good point there. 50 strength lead for Lifecoach. Fion has quite a bit of catching up to do, but with John Calvate, it's not about keeping up with your opponent in the moment itself. You build up for that powerful swing. You can afford to be behind because you're always running with that huge swing. An Ambassador here is a very powerful play. Buffing up the Imperial Brigade, even though it's locked, it's still very powerful. 17 strength on the melee row, and I'm looking at Lifecoach's hand, and there is no answer for a unit of that caliber. So Combat Engineer could be very powerful here.
Yeah, I wonder if the second Ambassador is going to be so kind as to buff that up again.
That's the second time we've seen him target that bear with the Shieldsmith. I like that.
I do, yeah. That's a very unique choice, but having the bear come out at 15 in round 3, It's no joke. Huge
No
strength.
joke at all.
You can do some really gross stuff with King of Beggars pulling Priestess Freya into the bear, especially as all of those units get increased base strength the later the game goes with Skellige as their faction passive.
Fion really hovering over the Joaquin there. I was thinking about it for a second. He could fish for something with Stefan Skellen and set it up for Joaquin to pick up, since Joaquin does pick up the top non-gold unit from your deck. So there's a synergy there, but he's definitely preserving Stefan Skellen for something else. Ooh, oh, that's terrible.
Nothing to grab for the Vikavara medic.
That's the weakness. Vikavara medic is an exceptional bronze card, but it's very good. Like all medics, it shines in the later rounds, but it can be very disruptive in the early ones, and that just really worked against him. That Joaquin was only worth 5 strength. That's terrible.
Yeah. Fion's been, and you can kind of see in his reaction here, he's very aware that that things haven't been going his way with his draws and some of the RNG elements. You know, even though there's limited RNG in Gwent, sometimes
He could have worked for that though. He could have placed
difference.
Yeah, he could have placed Stefan though to avoid that, but he opted to like preserve for later, and maybe that was a little bit of greed.
Yeah, I mean, he must have had other plans for.
You know, it's a
stuff he's going.
possibility. Like, you know, you're running Vikavara medics. Like, how many Vikavara medics is this man? Oh, he's only running one.
He only runs the one medic too. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, what options did he have? He only had like. Okay, let's take a look at.
He was probably fishing for sure for another Emperor.
He had one more. No, it was a 33% chance actually. No, actually 25%. That's not that bad. That was definitely a high risk because he has very little like units actually if you think about it.
Yeah, and if he did have alternate plans for Stefan, because you know the
Joaquin doesn't pull a disloyal unit, by the way, in case you guys are confused. He does not pull spies. So because Fion runs very little units that are not spies, that was actually not as unlucky as it seems. Oh, but that's the door.
1 point.
Wow.
1 point.
Wow, Lifecoach was not anticipating that. What a swing. Fion still manages to take the first round and can mulligan away Roach this time around.
Can
It's not
control a
over.
little bit of the bad draw here.
He's been able to win a round without his leader's ability. This is huge.
So huge, especially because he's holding Dimerdian Bomb, Dimerdian Shackles, and Letho.
Oh,
of course,
he can pull this off.
Absolutely control what goes on in the third round with
That
Stefan Skellen.
ambassador was tremendous.
Stefan allows you to make your own luck with the top deck as he basically dictates the top deck.
Exactly. He has the potentials here to actually like set up a Letho plus the D-Shackles and then swing it back to him and then Combat Engineer potentially.
And on top of all of it, having the card. My apologies. The card advantage currently in Lifecoach's favor.
Going for that and searching for Cantarella.
He wants
of course.
Cantarella, yeah.
Of course. That's a very nice lead. Like that's a 12 strength play. So Lifecoach definitely has his tools to catch up with it, but he has to make sure that he does because otherwise, I believe Fion will pass here. This just got very, very interesting. Despite the bad luck there with the pulls and certain draws, Fion is far from out of it, ladies and gentlemen. Calvate can do quite the magic.
He can stabilize definitely, and being able to control this round is huge right now, being able to draw into Cantarella. And if he gets, there's a lot of cards he can get off Cantarella that will help him out here. The Combat Engineer is getting a little tricky, though, because he's probably going to end up being the third round mulligan.
Yes.
As that 14 strength bear coming out, allowing Lifecoach to get ahead. Lifecoach is going to be determined to stay ahead at all times here.
He can always, Combat Engineer that Roach.
He could.
One of the most valuable keeps I've seen in a while.
Very deliberate decisions being made right now by both players. Again, you can look at that body language, that tunnel vision we were talking about earlier.
Yep, they're concentrated. That's for sure. As they should be.
As they should be.
The clock is ticking for Fion here, really debating what to do.
He's probably thinking, is there a way I could get ahead on any of these turns? And if there isn't, maybe it's worth it.
He's actually going
He
for
actually
it.
did it. He actually put the Combat Engineer on Roach.
Roach can stick around for the next round and provide a tremendous amount of 3 strength.
Well, it's just another turn. It's just another card that
Exactly.
Lifecoach is forced to play.
That's why he went for this play. He knows that because look at his hand. He has D Shackles and the Miriam Bomb. If he were to assign the Combat Engineer as his mulligan target, he could still have a very useless card in his hand.
I'm just trying to think of how this game might end, and it might just end with Letho taking care of those bears and just coming right back.
Yep. Will he be able to stop that?
All of that strength away. Croc on Crate will have to be played. The On Crate Warrior will be played. There will be bears on the board. There's going to probably be 4 targets for Letho to eat, but he's going to have to get ahead on cards, and right now he's looking at a little bit of a disparity. Being able to play last is massive, but he wasn't able to get any operator Cantarella strategy developed in this particular game.
Clonic Great Warrior enters the board, buffing up his strength to 25 strength. And I think this may be where Fion calls it quits, unless he opts to play his Shackles to get a little bit more out of him.
I mean, you can afford to play the Shackles because Dimeridium Bomb will give you the same effect if you wanted it to target Letho specifically. If you just wanted to get one more card out of Lifecoach.
But then again, you may want to preserve that D-Bomb to handle like other rows that can be affected by Warcry, because he is down in card advantage, and I don't think there's a way he's going to be able to get back into it in that aspect.
Especially with that Okvist, I mean, you're going to get a lot more value on with Letho going on the melee row, so Okvist may not have, I mean, the Shackle and the D-Bomb allows a little bit of flexibility here.
But it's hard to predict what your opponent has at the same time, so it's a very difficult decision. But he has to go with the Manticore Venom.
Staying in the round.
I like that. I actually like that. Like that Manticore Venom. Like what's important here is Letho. His path to victory is Cantarella and Letho for the next round. That's what he has to bank for. Cantarella will buy him some time because it will draw him a card, which gives him an extra turn. That's very important. As the Archer hits the board and damages the Comet Engineer, the Roach, and his own Priestess of Freya.
Roach, not the greatest thing to put Combat Engineer on, but it's better to play it than be stuck with it later. Or you could mulligan it away. I suppose that was always an option, but Fion choosing to stay in the round as long as he can without fracturing his strategy too much. There's only so much more you can do here. Those, I mean, we can see Lifecoach, like there's a home for that Shackles and that Dimeridium Bomb in Letho and Okvis, arguably.
Yep. But obviously, we see that.
But how do you stay in this round and you make that happen?
Well, he can still win, but he's not going to have to pass. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. John Calvate, can he pull it off yet again against Croc? We'll see.
It's definitely tough, especially if Cantarella ends up getting wounded at any point. Very tough here.
Let's see.
Wonder if he's going to actually throw any of these away.
I honestly don't know.
It's tough. It's tough to keep both of those.
Yeah.
You know, both of those cards. If there's nothing to really, if there's
But
nothing
at the same
very
time,
valuable,
yeah,
they don't provide you any strength.
That's true. He's gonna keep them all.
It's going to keep them. I think that's.
He's still gonna draw a card with Cantarella.
And they're here. Oh, here. Yeah, Okvis is going to have to come down nice and early if it's going to actually trigger.
Yep.
Maybe lots of options to take care of that. Really heads up keeping that extra Dimeridium Shackles. The Dimeridium Shackles and Dimeridium Bomb, sometimes dead weight in a hand.
The thing
I'm
about
confident that those cards are going to provide him the value he needs here.
The thing about Warcry Skellige is that it cannot really handle with the John Calvate strategy. Like, they have no way to really counter it themselves. And this strategy can actually capitalize on them because it does interact with your own board, and John Calvate loves that because he floods his opponent's board.
So much strength
Bow
potential in
before
Lifecoach's
modern
hand,
prayer.
but so much strength.
There is the bear.
Potential in Fion's.
So it is going to be very interesting.
I shall
Cantarella goes down. Oh, operator a little bit too late, though. I think he has to fish for something else.
You're not going to take that. Or
Yep. Oh,
well then.
I mean, that's 10 strength.
A lot of these cards are kind of, they all cater to the same strategy to the point where there may not actually be, well, you know, actually, I think Menno is, yeah, Menno's not going to get a lot done if you're going to want to use John.
Oh, of course. You're going to want to use your ability, but it is 10 strength. It's worth 10 strength here. Lifecoach with a very solid lead, but remember, guys, John Calvate takes his time. He lets his opponent get confidence. He lets him build up that strength, and then the spies betray the opposing leader. And that's what he's going to work for here.
And you know it's coming. You know it's coming. You can see it. It's ready to happen here.
But you can't stop it sometimes. And Lifecoach certainly can't. The question is, will it be enough? Because Lifecoach has a lot of power potential himself, but that bear, I believe, is going to get taken down by Letho.
It's really going to be how this Okvis is dealt with and how much Letho can actually secure.
He is going to lock the Okvist.
All right.
I like that play a lot.
Yep.
I really dig it.
He's happy he kept the Shackles for sure.
Because he denies card advantage, and that's huge for a combo like this because you get more value out of Letho because he doesn't get that card, like that extra card. So that's tremendous. If you were to be able to apply Letho and take, like, if Lifecoach goes for his Lito's ability, That would be huge for him.
Well, it's not even just that. I mean, the resurrection of anything else that's
In the melee row.
massive.
But I think Lifecoach has to avoid the melee row. Oh man, let's see what he does here.
Diameridian Bomb may end up going onto the siege row to bring Grimace down. John Calvert will pull back potentially Letho and Cantarella at the same time.
Lifecoach really debating this play here. This is very intense. Every single decision here is absolutely key.
No Warcry, unfortunately, to really capitalize, but I think Warcry would have trapped him here in this place anyway because of Calvert.
That Letho's looking so big, man. Will it be enough, though?
But the thing is, the difficulty here is you have to play Letho now. If you play Menno, you don't have to play Letho. But if you play Menno first,
Yeah, Menno has to be the last play, unfortunately.
you don't
have
get
to
it
go
back with
Letho.
Calvert. Yeah,
You have to go
Just kill
Letho.
Cantarella.
You have to go Letho here. Letho is looking to be a potential of 22-26 strength stolen from his opponent. But concerning, you also add that into Cantarella, but that bear is also, respectable, and we still see Lifecoach with a King of Beggars, his leader's ability, and Yennefer, so maybe it's just not enough.
I don't think it's enough. I think just with the sequencing and how you have to actually
Oh, but he
do
plays
this.
Menno now.
That changes things for sure.
But he loses, like, strength that he gains here. He really has to bank on his opponent generating another body. This is what he's going for, ladies and gentlemen. This is what he's going for.
I think the best play for Lifecoach here is Yennefer. Otherwise, he's going to put himself in a tough position, I think.
But Yennefer is going to empower Letho, actually.
It's true. I mean, Letho's going to get work done 100%. How much work gets done is going to be based around Lifecoach's play right now.
I don't know if that's enough, though. We'll see. And he's really debating. Oh, he goes for the King of Bears instead.
Who do I spy?
He pulls the Freezes of Freya.
I wonder if this is going to go on the melee row.
And he is going to go in the melee row.
Letho's going to be pretty big.
24, but
don't
no,
know,
the
though.
Siege row is still better. Siege row is still better.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot of strength. I don't know. This is a massive swing, but I don't know if this is enough. I don't know if this is enough. This is intense, ladies and gentlemen. If Fion goes down here, he will lose 3-0. He has to bank on Letho, but he's aiming for the...
Well, I mean, you can make the case for putting the... Well, no, then you can't take Letho back. No, you'd have to put it on the siege row, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you have to? Oh, he gets Roach!
He got Roach!
A little extra bonus.
You best yield now.
He's going to buff up his
30.
units.
30 going away from... Get your calculators out, folks.
I don't think this is enough. This is a massive swing, but he has such a lead and still has his leader's ability. I think John Calvate, even though he's managed to pull off this combo so many times, but he's just too overpowered here.
Yeah, I mean, it puts... Right now, right now, really, it's going to be 44 to 50.
Oh, and he passes, he just gives it up.
Yeah, it would
He
be
doesn't
44 to
have
50
it.
if he did the Diameridian Bomb pullover.
Lifecoach 3-0
Lifecoach.
over Fion and advances to the finals. Good job.